I don't really take it in anymore, okay, because we've gone over it. Okay, so here we go. Finding the intercepts and all that, rewriting for the first equations. I'm going to do that first. Okay, so for the first one, you're supposed to get that if you rewrite it. So that's, I give you 2 marks there because, right, there are 2 steps involved. You bring the 25 over and it should be a negative. And you're dividing everything by 5, giving you this. Now, if you left it 25 over 5 here, that is okay as long as there's a negative there. Okay? Even if you left the 30 over 5 separately, that's technically all right with me. Okay, so determine the intercepts. So I'll just walk you through here. In that case, you would type that equation in here. It was not a tricky one, right? No fractions, nothing. You graph it. And to find the x-intercept, right? We let y2 equal to 0. We hit graph again. We go second trace 5. And my cursor isn't there. There it is. Enter, enter, enter. And it's 1.20, right? That's the x-intercept. So x-intercept is how you would show your work, right? You let y2 equal to 0. You go second trace. And I'm not telling you that you have to have everything exactly written like me, but I should be able to see it. It's like, yep, you definitely know what you're doing. And so you get 1.20 as your x-intercept. For the y-intercept, you can just write down 0.6. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But if you did use second trace value, right, you let x equal to 0, and then y came out as 6, right, regardless of how you did it. So with this, I don't really need keystrokes because you can just take it from your equation, right? But you get 2 marks for, so you get 2 marks for this, you get 2 marks for that. 1 for each, okay? So these points should be there. If you didn't put keystrokes down, just take off half a mark once. Don't take it off more than once in this question, right? So just put down 1.5 out of 2 if you didn't include keystrokes. Triple I is find the point -10, right? -10 question mark. What that means is that they're giving you the x value. So you would have to go second, trace, value, right? X is equal to -10. And that's 56. Y is 56, sorry. Y is 56. So the point is -10, 56. If you have y is equal to 56 showing up there, that is good. That's all I need, okay? So you get 1 mark for that. Okay, that's 1 mark for triple I. A1A triple I, how's that? And then the fourth one, right? They want the point question mark -7. So there you let y2 equal to -7. Then you go second, trace. You can just put intersect, fifth option, right? So I'm getting shorter with my steps here. And so you take your calculator, you let y2 equal to -7, you hit graph. There it is, and then you find the intersection of those two. Enter, enter, enter. So it's 2.6 -7. So x is equal to 2.6. So the point that you just found is 2.6 -7. Okay, I'm okay with the 2.6 there. That's all I need to see. And so you get 1 there. The intersection between A and B, we're going to leave that for later. So 5 and 6, I'll come back to it in a bit because you're supposed to graph them both, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go 1b I, right, which is also worth 2 marks. This one is worth 2, rewriting it. So if we get uh, uh, taking the equation, I end up with negative 3y is equal to negative 10y minus 15. Then you divide everything by negative 3. So y ends up being 10 over 3x, plus 5. Okay, 10 over 3x plus 5, because these two negatives turn into a positive, and these two negatives here turn into a positive as well. Yes? Somebody said something? Yeah. Oh, yes. You got me. So I'll give you that. I see it. Yes. So never mind. I will fix that on the fly here. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that I wrote down it very much looks like a Y both cases. So I'm gonna have to redo my key here. So yeah, that would end up being, that's a good one. Yeah, it happens. So 10y minus 3y, this is what you saw, right? Okay, so then it's 7y. 7y is equal to negative 15. And then you divide both sides by 7. Y is equal to negative 15 over 7. It's actually a good mistake that I made. Like, then we get to see this. This is a horizontal line, right? It's a special case. Y is equal to a number, horizontal line. X is equal to a number, vertical line, right? So you still get 2 marks for that. For double I, the x-intercept in this case would be none, right? Not applicable. The y-intercept is going to be 0, negative 15 over 7. So you don't even need a calculator for that, right? Because it is a line that goes through that y value. So that is your y-intercept. 2 marks. Freebies. No keystrokes needed for that one. I'll take that responsibility there. So now we're going to get in a bit of trouble here. Triple I, when x is negative 10, what's y? What do you think the answer is going to be? It is always negative 15 over 7. Always, right? But you could go second trace 1, right? Enter negative 10. Let's try that. So I got to scratch what I have. I'm going to enter negative 15 divided by 7. There's that line. Because it is negative 2 point something, right? So there it is, right? Running parallel to the x-axis. So if you were to go second trace 1 and enter negative 10 for x, it is still going to be negative 2.14, which is negative 15 over 7. So if you wrote this down, negative 2.14, you are still correct, right? You're still correct. So, but no need to do that in this case. 4, so we got 1 mark for that. Y is equal to negative 2.14 or negative 15 over 7. You get 1 mark for that. And this one is where we run into trouble here. What's the x value when y is equal to -7? Not applicable, right? Because y is never -7. It always stays at this, right? It never gets to -7. So that is a freebie. We're not going to worry about that. If you got it wrong, don't worry about it. Now we're going to do V, which is the graph. And my graph now looks different than when I had on my original key, and that's fine. I'm looking for a scale. I'm looking at my intercepts, right? X, Y. My intercepts are, I'm looking at the top one. We had 1.2 and 6. So really, if I just go by 1, that's fine. I'm just going to go a little bit smaller here. Okay, so this is 2, 4, -2, -4, -2, -4, 2, 4, 6. Okay, so 1.2 would put me right about here. 0, 6 goes up here. And we have a line there. So if you have the x and the y axis and the scale, that is one mark right there already. And then we'll give you another mark for this one. Right, you get one mark for that, one mark for labeling axes and having scales. And then the last one is -214, which is right about there. Which is just this line, a horizontal line, y is equal to -15/7 or -2.14, right? And then 6, to find the intersection which we're after here, we let y1 equal to -5x plus 6. We let y2 equal to -15/7. And then we go second, trace 5 to find that point of intersection. So we're going to go get now. Okay. So I'm going to keep the -15/7 already in y1 because it's there. And then it's going to be -5x plus 6 and y2. As long as they're both there, that's fine. And then I'm going to go ahead and find that intersection. And that is 1.63. Careful, rounding, right? 1.63 because it's 6 to 8. So 1.63 -2.14, which we predicted, right? This we knew already from before. This is now 1.63. So that's the point of intersection. You get one mark for that. And I'm gonna clean this up a little bit for just to make sure we get our marks right. Okay. You get one mark for this intersection. Okay. You might be slightly off if you entered -2.14 here instead of a fraction. Then that's okay. A graph with all the components, right? With a scale, labels, labeling your lines, arrowheads, all of that gets you 3 marks. So I'm going back up, okay? give yourselves that 1 mark here, which is that you couldn't really do, right? So just give yourselves the mark that it makes it easier. And then 1B triple I is 1 mark. 1B double I is 2 marks. 1B I is also 2 marks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for 1B all the way to 4. And I'm going to go back up here. So for 1A, right, for the first equation, this gets you 1 mark. This gets you 1 mark. Finding the intercepts gets you 2 marks, 1 for each. And then the first one rewriting also gets you 2, so 6 marks there as well. So going from 1 to 4, right, for A and B, both are 6, so that should be 12 there. So go on top of that 12. We add the graph, which is another 3, that's 15. And then we're at 16 here with this one, finding the intersection between the two. And now we have to do domain and range yet. Again, this is also part of a learning process, right? For domain and range, I'm going to give you both, right? So 2A, question 2A, I'm going to do domain and range. So if you want to use set notation, x will be less than 3, but it's including 3. Less than or equal to 3, squiggly brackets. Because there is no cap on this other end where the arrowhead is, so you only have one number in there. For the range, y is always less than or equal to 4. So if you have that, you get 2 marks right there, 1 for each. Or you would have for x, you would go negative infinity, right? Because it keeps on going to negative infinity, all the way to 3 included. Same with the range. You go from negative infinity, right, from the bottom all the way to the highest value, which is 4. So if you have these two, you get 2 marks, or if you have these two, you get 2 marks. If you have the right values in there, but you don't have the correct brackets, take off half every time you make a mistake on brackets. If you flip this, if you went 3 to negative infinity, then you can't get a mark there. Okay, it has to be lowest, greatest, always. Okay, so 2 marks for this, and then for 2B, for domain and range, what do we have here for set? This is going to be locked on both sides, right? It's a finite graph, it's a segment, right? So we're going from x, which is -2, right? And it'll be less than 3, like that. For the y, you're going as low as -1 and as high as +2, right? That's the highest. This one, it comes back down, but down to -0.5, so you don't have to worry about that, right? It's this. And there's no open dot up here, so it's included. So we go to maximum of 2, or here you would go -2 to 3 and -1 to 2, like that. So 2 marks there as well. One for each. So again, if you have the numbers right but the brackets wrong, take off half a mark each time. Give yourselves a mark out of 2. Again, we're not going to sweat it, right? If you put 1.5 and it should have been 1, right now we're not going to worry about it. Okay. So it ends up being out of 20. Okay. Not 13 as I had originally put down, because I made you do the work for everything. Okay. So write down a mark out of 20. Okay. And take a picture of it, and you'll submit it later. Okay. I will give you 15 minutes after the end of class to submit it. I will post an assignment and you just upload it there, okay? Rishant, you want to go now? Yeah. Okay, before we continue, no, take a pic of everything, the work. I look at the work as well. Yeah, but it has to have the mark on there as well, whatever you gave yourself.